For the survey portion of my Tic Tac Toe project, I took the survey questions from the chapter. I took all of these. Some of the answers I adapted a little bit to fit my students. That was in chapter 7 with the real world items. And I used my board maker online and wrote out the questions with the pictos and all that, and that's why I had to shorten some things, just because that I can't fit the picture and all of the words in there and it would just be way too crowded. So that my students would be easier for them to answer the questions. So I have 12 questions, so I have 3 pages of 4 questions each, and had my students, some of my students answer. Actually, I only had 2, but I only have 9 students, so that's almost a third of my class. So I had them answer, like they circled, or I circled. In the case of Evan, I circled and made some notes on the answers he gave me, because he doesn't have the ability to actually hold a pencil and have control of his arms enough to circle something. So I was asking him the questions and then using eye gazing to say, was it not hard enough, is it challenging, or is it perfect? So he would tell me which one it was, with a yes or a no. With Nick, he is able to hold a pencil and draw and write his name and all that. Not always write his name legibly, which is why I wrote it, but, you know, sometimes I know it says Nick, but you never know what it said. Other people wouldn't always know what it said. So he circled his answers for me. I just read him the question and gave him the options. Whether or not he actually understood the question I was asking and circled what he actually thought, or if he was just circling because he liked the picture, I don't know. But I'm going to go with the answers that they gave me and work from there. So these 2 are my highest functioning students. Evan is actually, in a sense, I think smarter than me. He actually is working on uncommon fractions. And Nick can add double-digit numbers and can work really well with money. So they're my 2 highest students when it comes to their math skills and pretty much all other academic aspects of our day. But we're going to focus on the math right now. And, well, since Evan cannot actually communicate with his voice, he actually has a computer that he matches different, like, he has times tables matching that. He has, like, the multiplication, question, and then he has to find the answer. So he has that for 6, 7s, and 8s. So he's working with some pretty higher level thinking, in my opinion. Sometimes I can't even remember the answers for the equations that are coming up. Anyway, so for Evan, he was saying that it's challenging. He does have some trouble with fractions, which is why they were working on them. One of his goals from last year was working on common fractions, and so he's progressed up to uncommon fractions. So we're going to be working somewhat with that in the future. He actually hates math, he says. So I don't know why everybody's so adamant about making him do it, but, you know, it's required. So apparently he hates math, which I would never have guessed. So this survey actually gave me a lot of insight into him. He thinks groups are helpful, which is also surprising to me because he doesn't like group work. He likes to reread the problem and pictures in his mind, likes to repeat it. He has many different skills to be successful. He's learned to adapt to what he has so that he can be as successful as possible. This thing I liked is that the question was, what have past teachers done to help you learn? And he wanted me to circle all of them. So I circled all of them. And what problems have you had with past math teachers that what problems have you had with past math teachers? He wanted me to circle all of them again. So, and then I liked the question about what do your parents, how do they use math? So that was very insightful for him. Nick, on the other hand, said that his math instruction is perfect and that math makes him stressed. So trying to incorporate math, and he says he has a problem with area and perimeter, that he has difficulty with that. I don't think he's actually done fractions or decimals. Like I said, most of our students don't always function at the level of their age, so that makes it a little bit more complicated. So we're working on very basic incorporation of math, like I said, with the line graph before and whatnot. But he had much of the same answers as Evan when it came to being successful, what skills he uses. He said with past teachers, it made, like, they let him make choices, which has been helpful. And with past teachers, that gave him problems because they were frustrated and they weren't nice. They made it so it wasn't nice. So with this information, I can kind of go through and be able to work on something and incorporating something that they will actually start enjoying math. I think in the line graph example that I gave earlier, they are actually helping the rest of the class get more into it. Like, they're helping, like, I ask all the students whether or not, like, which state we should do first. Most of my students I'm asking, should we do green or blue? But them, I'm asking, should we do Michigan or Pennsylvania? So, like, I say Michigan and Pennsylvania to the other students, but they're going based off of color more so because I'm working on identifying colors with them. Whereas those two are working on, the where they're located as opposed to just the color. So with them, knowing that one hates math and one gets stressed with math, I can start easing them into it a little bit more and try to give a little bit different kinds of instruction that I would, since I thought Evan liked math because he does it every single morning. I mean, it's in his goal that he does it on his computer every morning. So it's like, okay, I thought he liked it, which is why we were having him do this, which apparently that's not the case. He doesn't like doing it. So what can I do now to make it so he does like it, or at least, doesn't hate it? So him and I are going to be talking about that. Unfortunately, he's not going to be here today. But him and I are going to be talking about that and seeing what we can do to make it better for him and him get the most out of it. And then for Nick, it's going to be more of the, why do you feel stressed about this? Is it because you don't understand it? Is it because it's too difficult? So trying to figure that out, even with their limited range of motion, their limited attention spans in some cases, to try to hone that in to make them as successful as possible when it comes to using what math skills they have. This also may go into changing their instruction, especially with Evan's computer, to make that more enjoyable for him. So then it's not just, okay, you have to do your multiplications. Okay, you have to do, so it's giving him that choice and giving him those options to make sure that he can at least enjoy it more so than what he is, so that he doesn't go off saying, oh my God, I hate math, it's horrible. So I'll be going a little bit more into that in the descriptions after the video. But I wanted to show you how I adapted the survey and how I got the answers that I did based on the students that I have and what adaptations I had to make in order to get those answers from them. So, thank you.